Today, I'm going to demystify elicitation for you. So let's talk about elicitation. Most people don't know what it is. They get it confused with solicitation. It is not that. It is a conversational skill set. I like to say it's conversational mastery. It takes a lot of practice to do, but when you can master this skill set, you will be able to get any information that you want from another human in the most unassuming manner, with rapport, maintaining control of a conversation, all while the other person has no idea what you're after, right? It's a technique to start a conversation with someone who's a little hesitant. It is a technique that relaxes people and allows them to open up. It actually persuades people to want to open up, converse with you, and share information. And that's pretty good. It has its roots in the intelligence community. And if you were not in military intelligence, you probably have never heard of it. Or if you weren't taught by someone like myself, you probably don't understand what exactly it is, and that's fine because I'm here to demystify it. So I was taught by the Grand Master, I call him, John Nolan, back in the day. He owned Phoenix Consulting Group. And he wrote a book called Confidential, which you can't find anymore. I think the last copy was like over $200 on Amazon. But he took this skill that was born in the CIA, because it really is used for spy recruiters, right? You can't just walk up to someone either in this country or their country and say, hey, you want to spy on your country? The US will pay you a lot of money. You may get shot if you're overseas. You may buy yourself 3 months of surveillance from foreign intelligence services, and we don't want that. So the way we have to approach a person who we think's the best target to want to spy on their country is through elicitation. So that's how it was born. It was a way to covertly get information while maintaining our cover, protecting our cover status, and protecting ourselves. So fast forward, right? It has so many applications in the business world, not only the intelligence world. It also has applications in the law enforcement community, which is why I brought it to law enforcement. So I have created an interviewing method. I know most of you know me as an interrogation expert, as a former interrogator, which is why this is called the interrogation room, the real interrogation room from a real interrogator with hundreds of interrogations. I brought it to law enforcement because it's the best way to get someone to open up, especially in a canvassing operation. If you're going around talking to neighbors and they don't trust you, it's a great way to start a conversation. It's a great way to start a conversation in any type of interview. If you are in human resources and you're hiring people, you're in employee relations, and you need to talk to someone about some unethical behavior that they have and try to correct it. A great way to start the most difficult conversation you're going to have in your life is to use elicitation. So I learned it years ago. The first time that the light bulb came on for me was inside an interrogation when I was interrogating a detainee down in Gitmo. I don't know if it was Al Qaeda, Taliban, foreign fighter, it doesn't matter. But I just was going nowhere and I couldn't get this detainee to open up. I tried every technique possible, every rapport building technique. And so after about an hour of trying, and my interpreter looking at me as if to say, what are you going to do next? I just stopped asking questions. I hit the wall and I just started making statements. And then I realized the more statements I made, the more the detainee was responding with a narrative response, not a yes and no, not a I don't know. He was giving me a narrative response. So I thought, maybe I'll keep this up. And after hours gone by with pages and pages of notes, that's when it hit me and I realized the advantage of elicitation. Elicitation in the most simplest form is a way to get information from someone without ever asking a question. So let me share a funny story of how I use it. I use this technique all the time, at least once a day. And I also force myself to use it because if you stop using it, you will get rusty. And you don't want to do that, especially when it comes to a conversation. You want to master a conversation. You want to master your communication skills. The only way to do that is to practice every day. So I was seeing a band. I went to go see a band and it was crowded. It was packed. And my husband and I love to go see live bands. So we went to a concert and we're holding our drinks, looking out over the crowd, wondering where we're going to sit. And we see this half empty picnic table. It was outside at a brewery, even though I don't like to drink beer, but whatever. So these two guys call us over and they say, "Hey, the other people that were sitting here left. Do you want to sit with us?" So we said, "Sure." And we got into a conversation. One guy's name was Max, the other was Bob. My husband, well, I started talking to Max first because he was a total rocker. I could tell by everything that he was wearing, the ripped jeans, the big belt buckle, the tattoos, the goatee. So we start talking about music and we start one-upping each other and sharing about all the famous bands and people we know and how we get front row here and backstage there. So anyway, it was very fun, right? And I found out a lot about him. And if you guys don't know, quid pro quo, that sharing, that one-upping is an elicitation technique. So I was doing it purposely to really validate how much he knew or who he knew. So after that, I ended up talking to Bob. We went and got them beers for thanking them for letting us or allowing us to sit with them. So we come back and I end up talking to Bob. Bob is an insurance guy, polo shirt, shorts, khaki shorts, short haircut. So he leaned in, he said, "Yeah, Max is so cool that he has a magazine and he features musicians on it every month." And he even knows, and this is back in the day, apparently, when Aerosmith had lost their drummer. He died and they needed a new drummer. And it was like this big hush hush secret in the music world. I don't know why, but whatever. So Max said Max is so cool that he knows the new drummer and he's gonna, whatever. He's talking to him and blah blah blah. So I thought, oh, this is a great opportunity for me to get this secret, sensitive information from Bob. So I tried a couple techniques, and Bob was like, I don't know if I should tell you. I don't know. So he's getting real nervous, even though I tried to relax him as much as I could. So I just happened to overhear my husband and Max talking, and Max just mentions a drummer. And I thought, there's a good conversational gate. So I turned around and I said, "Oh, that's the new drummer of Aerosmith." And Max looked at me in total shock. He was like, he grabbed my hand, put it on his arm, which was a little weird. And he said, "Oh my God, you just gave me goosebumps. How did you know?" Now, mind you, I made a false statement, which is another elicitation technique. I had no idea what I was talking about. I just heard drummer and came up with a false statement. So when he said, "How did you know?" Like, no one knows this stuff. Well, of course, then I was right. But now I still have to find out who this drummer is. But I didn't have to do much work because Max whips out his cell phone and he shows it to me. He's like, "Look, I'm talking to him right now." And so now I have the first and last name of this drummer and his cell phone number. And that's a elicitation. Quid pro quo, false statement, you can get anything you want. But that's just two funny examples. When you have to use it to get critical information that you need to make a very critical decision, let's say you want to know if you should invest in something or someone, if you should hire the right person, if you should merge with a particular company, you need to use elicitation. Because some of that information you just can't come out and ask for it. It's a little rude. You may put that person on guard. You may offend them. So instead, we use provocative statements in the form of elicitation. So how I train elicitation is a little different from other people out there. I've perfected it in a way where I don't teach provocative statement as a technique. I think all statements in elicitation should be provocative. So I teach 15 techniques in the form of a provocative statement so that you always provoke people when you say this statement to respond in one of three ways. They're going to agree with you, they're going to disagree with you, or they're going to offer up information. And that is what keeps a conversation going. That's what relaxes people and encourages them to open up and give you the information you want.